Hi, welcome back to Whilst I Cook. Today's topic is, should you go to university? I'm here to shed some advice on what kind of person I was and why I finally made the long decision to go to university and whether it was good for me or not. So to begin with, I wasn't sure. I was not on a path like medics or dentists. I was on a path of, I like to be creative, but I don't actually know what to do with that creativity. I did also like the academic side of things, so to drop that would have been really difficult, but I persevered, and what I did was, whilst I was making my university choices, I went to my career service in school and I said, look, are there any apprenticeships or any jobs I can do? And they sent me a load of good ones, and I got 3 interviews. One was a digital marketing SEO, search engine optimization company, one was like an environment company, and another was a copywriter. It was a publisher, but my role would have been a copywriter, and they were really good. I got a second interview. I was the only non-graduate to get a second interview, so I guess you're thinking, why didn't I take it? Why did I bother going to uni? I wasn't mature enough to take that job. I was really anxious about the application process, and although I got a second interview, I felt that the interview questions that we were given before the interview were just way beyond my academic achievements. I decided to withdraw my application for that job, and I also withdrew my applications for all the universities I applied for, and I said, look, I need a year off. So I took a year out, and in that year I was so lucky. I worked a little bit in retail and a little bit in fashion, and it took me to Italy and I had the best time, but I knew I wasn't using my brain enough. I needed to get back into education. So during my gap year, I think it was September, October, I applied for university, and I don't regret it now. A few times during university I was wondering whether this was the right path for me, but now I realise it opens so many opportunities, like graduate roles, and some roles you can't get past a certain stage unless you have a degree. So I've got a degree just in case for the future I want to use them. And also the job I'm doing now in digital marketing, that's all because I had a degree. Without that degree, the job wouldn't have even been open to me. But I have that academic side to myself, so if you don't have that academic background, or you find academic really difficult, like so many people do, then I would probably recommend thinking of other options, because even though I enjoyed the academic side of my course, which was politics and philosophy, I also really struggled with it. And I was more interested than a lot of people. So if you're not really that interested, or if your heart's not really in it, then I would really suggest searching for something else. Is there a university course that's going to further your career? If so, it could be worth spending the money to get on that course if you can't get the course elsewhere. I know some businesses actually pay for their employees to get degrees so they can go for higher roles in their company. So just remember, in the future you might be able to do a part-time degree if you don't even want the lifestyle, if you just want a degree maybe in the future. So I wouldn't worry too much about that, but the lifestyle, in my opinion, isn't worth it if you are getting a degree that you think is pointless for your future career. There's no point just doing something because it's a degree and then get a bad mark in it. Like, I was so lucky that I did really well and I got a good degree. And I did a degree in politics and philosophy. It doesn't lead you into a job. If you don't get a good grade, then you might not be able to get a job afterwards anyway. So I'd really think about it. If you're on track on your A-levels and you're doing really well, then you know what, maybe you should go to university, but really consider whether you'll enjoy it, because it's also really difficult being away from home if you're struggling academically. I struggled a bit academically in second year, and being away from home was just the hardest part of that. I don't know, it's really hard to explain, but you've really got to consider whether you are academic enough to enjoy it, because the better you are at your course, the more you'll be able to chill out and enjoy the rest that comes with the uni. If you find the idea of moving away from home really daunting, don't worry, it is really daunting and it's not for everyone right away. Everyone's at different levels in their life, and you'll want to move away eventually, perhaps not. But if you don't want to move away, either go to university closer if you definitely want to go to university, or maybe just take a gap year, get a job, and see where it takes you in a year's time. 1 year is nothing. The fact that you'll be working for like 30 or 40 years of your life after university, taking a gap year for 1 year and then doing a 3, 4, 5 year course really in the grand scheme of things isn't very much. Something smells like burning. So this is what happens when I cook. But I hope you have enjoyed this video and that my tips were a little bit helpful. I know they were mostly anecdotes, but sometimes you just like to hear someone else's experience of being a student and going through the whole process. On my last video, I loved that people started to comment and help each other out and give each other advice. So I really want that to happen again. So if you have any advice or any personal stories about going to university, please share them with everyone. People read comments on videos, I always do. So it's really helpful if you write a comment about your experience, and maybe someone else will take your advice on board, or you'll really help someone in their life. Use these comments as a bit of a forum, and thank you to everyone who has already commented on my last video. I don't have many views at the moment, so I really wasn't expecting much, and it was really lovely to see a few of you taking time out just to help each other and also to help me out and let me see your lovely comments and let me see that I'm not just talking to the camera. So thank you all for your comments, thank you for watching, and I will see you in my next video.